Hey everybody, welcome back to Record-ology. Now this is an interesting angle. It's been a while since we've been into the vaults of Record-ology. These are part of the vaults. This isn't the entire thing by any means, but there's a sneak peek behind the scenes there how I've integrated some of those record crates. You can see the two Beatles ones, the yellow one, and then to the right you can just see the top of the Apple. And then on the far left is the brown stained one. I've got the two non-stained ones and the other records that aren't in these crates kind of, off camera. But I wanted to show you where I go record picking every morning here in my own personal record shop. Even got the lit sign there. And all records are $1, which is really a bargain for a lot of these records. So anyway, this is just something fun I like to share with you guys from every now and then. But today, you'll notice I'm not on camera because the star of the show is not a person, it is a set of speakers, because we can't enjoy any of these records without something to play them on and something to hear them through. So today we are reviewing, I love when people build up to a video like you have no idea. It's like I clicked on the link, I saw the title, I saw the thumbnail. So you already know that we're going to take a look at some awesome, maybe I'm letting the cat out of the bag there a little bit, awesome, perhaps, Fluance speakers. And stay tuned because we will have a live stereo in the room audio feed once we unbox these, and you will get to hear them to the best of the limitations of YouTube and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, you're not going to want to miss this.
Welcome to Record-ology.
Okay, guys, so what about speakers? We've reviewed some turntables lately, some accessories. I would say the most important accessory would be speakers. And it's something that I get asked about all the time. What speakers would you recommend? This is actually only the third set of speakers that we've ever reviewed on this show. The first being the Crosley S100s. The next being the monitors. They're actually studio monitors, so completely flat, non-colored sound. Although they are adjustable, the bass and treble, the very, very good monitors from Presonus, and now these Fluance. And I'm really excited because Fluance is very well recognized in this space with fantastic turntables. We reviewed the RT80. We'll be reviewing others in the future, but they're as famous for their speakers as they are for their turntables. So these are the Ai41 powered 5-inch bookshelf speakers. Unparalleled performance. Premium neodymium tweeters, rich in natural mid-range. So I'm really excited about this. So the reason why they're powered or active is they have built-in amplifiers. So for a turntable, that allows you to plug right in. You don't even need a stereo system. So a lot of people that are getting into vinyl may be like, you know what? I want speakers for my turntable like this, and I don't want to clutter it up with a bunch of receivers and other junk. I just want to go minimal. So in that scenario, these would be perfect. Oh, check that out. Can you imagine? I'm sure some of you can because you probably have them. But I'm new to this stuff, relatively new to this stuff. There's the line of turntables. Super exciting stuff. But we're not here to flip through a manual. We're here to review a product, and that is what we are doing. These are, again, the Ai41 speakers. So let's go ahead and lift this off. Awesome. I love this, guys. The big reveal. So exciting. Not sure what's in there yet. And we got pieces of foam protecting your investment, which is good. I'm going to start with this one right here. Let me go ahead and get both of them out of the box. Okay. Let's go ahead and find out what's in this accessory box. We have batteries. Not sure what those are for. Speaker cable. We have a power cable and a remote. That would explain the batteries. Okay, cool. That's what's in there. So let's go ahead and put our batteries in. I literally had no idea these came with a remote. I think I've said this before, but I really try not to research what I'm reviewing. That sounds terrible. It sounds like, well, that explains why you don't know anything. But I mean, like, I try not to get too into it because I want to sort of have that discovery together, you and I, on the show. Let's go ahead and put our batteries in there. So sometimes I'm as surprised as you are what this stuff is. Okay. Basic remote, very reminiscent of an Amazon Fire Stick remote. I like that finish there. That kind of brushed grain finish. Cool. All right. And we don't need to look at the cables. We need to look at the speakers though. So let's go ahead. And you may ask yourself, based on my previous statement, well, what's the difference between a monitor and a speaker? Same thing goes for headphones versus, over the ear monitors. A monitor essentially is designed to give you a flat response with no coloration, where a speaker or headphones are designed to sound as good as possible. So there's some EQ built into it. That's all the difference is. Looks like we have some gold posts there for the speaker wire. They are ported, as you can see. Ooh, that's fancy looking. Love this stuff. Rotating it around here, we have the tweeter and the woofer. They are two-way speakers. Still some packing dust on there. Got that same Fluance badge that the Turntable does. I mean, it's pretty simple. It's a speaker. It's nice. And I like the open face design. A lot of people have mentioned all the way back to when we did the Crosley S100 review. They're like, why isn't there a grill on there? Why isn't there a cloth grill? I don't know. Some people just prefer to have no grill, and I'm one of those people. So I think it's cool. And there you go. Ironically, the set of speakers I gave to my son was from my old Iowa shelf system, which if you've been watching recent shows, you know about that and the history therein. And it originally had like these sort of snap-on speaker grills, which I took off because I thought it was cool to see, the speakers without the grill on. And when he inherited it, he was like, Dad, I wish you would have kept the speaker grill. I wish it kind of looks more polished that way. All right, so there they are. Let's go ahead and power them up. Now, doing a speaker review on YouTube is inherently tricky because you're never going to hear exactly what I'm hearing. You're only going to hear a compressed, streamed version of it. So rather than demonstrate these here on this table, once we, connect them and sort of test out the, controls, I'm going to put them into my actual setup so we can hear them. I'll get out a good stereo mic and we're going to listen in the room together. And again, it's not going to be the same thing as hearing them with your own ears. So it's inherently difficult. I'll try to, give you my best description of what I'm hearing. And besides that, we can look at specifications and functionality and quality of build, which, by the way, seems very high. These are very heavy duty. They feel very sturdy. They feel solid. They have amplifiers in them, or one side has an amplifier in it. So they feel like they're durable. So I'm liking what I'm seeing. So let's go ahead and get it connected, and then we'll do a review of the sound. It's nothing quite like that moment. Fresh, unused, virgin speaker wire. Okay, maybe I'm geeking out a little bit, but I love this stuff. I love every detail of it. We want to take a look at all aspects here. The bottoms have actual rubber pads. You may be like, actual rubber? What does that mean? Sometimes, companies just put on cheap foam pads, which, will get the job done, but it's not as nice as having rubber feet or rubber pads. So this is the master speaker or the primary speaker. This is the one that has the amplifier. We already looked at the passive speaker. So this is going to be the one that has the amplifier in it. And I love this. Look at this little Canadian flag tag here. Designed and engineered in Canada, which is awesome. So we've got some really cool features here. We do have Bluetooth, so we can connect Bluetooth. That would be, you connect your iPhone, your computer, whatever Bluetooth device to this and listen to your audio directly into the speakers. It does have an optical input, so this is a cool prospect. Using an optical cable out of like a CD player, you could have lossless digital audio that is maintained over a fiber optic cable. Because if you're using RCA, it is analog at that point. And for vinyl, which is our primary use case on this, that's exactly what we want. Analog, analog, analog. But for a CD player, you could have a digital end-to-end audio connection, which is lossless, because there's technically, some resistance and loss. But a fiber optic cable, there is not. So that's a cool prospect. There's also a sub output. You don't have to have a subwoofer. I don't at this point in time. So, maybe down the road, you don't need one. These should sound amazing without that. But if you wanted to add it, That's where you would do it. There are the other speaker terminals, as well as where we plugged in the power and the on and off switch. So with that, I'm going to flip the on and off switch and then rotate this back towards me. Down on the front of the unit, we have this knob. It's a plastic knob. It's not a whole lot of drag there. We do see that light right there. And then on the remote, looks like we have a mute switch, a power switch. I'm assuming this puts it into standby. Okay, so it goes to blue, which is assumedly Bluetooth. Pressing it again goes to red. I'm guessing that's standby, actually. So there's probably a green. I'll have to play with that a little bit. But there's our basic transport controls. You may be saying, these are speakers. Why is there transport controls? For the Bluetooth. So you can skip songs on your Bluetooth and whatnot. That is really cool. And yeah, some really cool features here. We got bass and treble control. And this looks like an IR. So this is probably the receiver for it right there. So next step is to get this connected into my environment, and we will give it a sound test. And today we'll be using the Crosley C100 BT that we recently reviewed, which I have outfitted with the Concord DJ stylus / cartridge from Ortofon. It is a DJ stylus and cartridge, but it's very rugged for that reason. So it's really good for playing old beat up records. It's a conical stylus. It tracks a bit heavy, 3.5 to 4.5 grams. I got it set just under 4 right now. Won't damage anything. It's a diamond tip stylus, perfectly aligned. It looks awesome. I love this thing. Just for a listening cartridge, it does a fantastic job. Solid metal construction, a very heavy duty and awesome looking stylus. Anyway, we'll be using this on this turntable, and then to pick up the audio today, I am setting aside the usual mono microphone that we're listening to right this second, and I will be outfitting the camera system with this bad boy. Haven't used this in a little while. This is my Rode Stereo shotgun mic, and I want to pull this off so you can see here. So we do have a complete stereo pickup, and I'm going to position this fairly close to the speakers. I'm going to put it right in between at about, gosh, I want to say 2.5 feet from each speaker. Literally where I sit. And you could see my setup earlier, or you haven't seen the setup yet. When I show you the setup here in a second, you will see how I listen to it. They're fairly close proximity. I sit fairly close because this is my desk. And so I want you to kind of experience it like I experienced it. You should hear pretty good stereo separation the way I'm planning to do this. So enough babbling. Let's get on with it. So while we continue to listen to these speakers, let me kind of give you my thoughts on the sound. So they're very bright. I feel like they're very accurate. They seem just as accurate as the Persona speakers. In terms of that high end, it's super sharp, super clear, and the low end is present. The bass is not going to knock you off your feet, but like I said, it has a jack for an external sub, so perhaps the overwhelming bass is for another day. That being said, it's very full. I don't feel like I need more bass. I don't particularly like rumbling over the top bass anyway, so to me, these sound fantastic. Okay, I know it sounds a little funky now. That's because I'm using the iPhone's built-in microphones. Why? Because I wanted to show you a little behind the scenes. This is the mic that I use. Normally, this is my little Boya microphone. And I just run a cable and adapt it into a lightning jack that plugs right into the camera, the phone itself. Little windscreen here. It's pretty directional, but it's a great little microphone that I use on a day-to-day basis on the last since Christmas. I think I got this around Christmas time. Anyway, what do you guys think of those incredible speakers? You're listening to what I'm hearing in the room, except for all the compression and things that the internet does and YouTube does and whatnot. But you are hearing, you know, pretty dang close to what it sounds like acoustically here in the room. That being said, this room isn't acoustically good. I mean, it's a lot of flat opposing walls and whatnot. There's not a lot of things to absorb sound and whatnot. It's pretty loud, as it were, from an acoustic standpoint, but it gets the job done. This is what I'm literally listening to while I work, and I couldn't be happier. If you want to snag these, links in the description below. Let me know what you think down in the comments, but that's going to do it for now, guys. Happy record hunting. We will see you next time.